Hi everybody, this is Black Rhino Ranger. Thought about sharing with you another deleted storyboard. While my computer is out, let's talk about it. This is Triggantic. I've been hinting at this type of animation for quite a long time, and I was supposed to get to it as soon as possible, since 2017 to 2020. But I think time has passed too much, and whatever I've written here, it feels very pre-20s, very pre-2020s. I feel like if I make it now, a lot of stuff in it is basically irrelevant, and I probably should modify it some. I'm not sure if I could modify it to fit within the 2020s. Normally, I like to try something that's a bit more timeless or based on something that's a bit more nostalgic, for me at least. But for this one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people will remember what I refer to within the context of what was presented here. So, for those who don't know, Triggantic was basically my attempt to do my own version of a movie, a movie that was supposed to be made by Walt Disney Animation Studios, but got scrapped in 2017. It was originally supposed to be released around 2019 or 2021, but it got scrapped. And that is Gigantic, an adaptation of the Jack and the Beanstalk story. Now if they make that, this wouldn't be the only time. Now this wouldn't be the only time they did a Jack and the Beanstalk parody. They have done one before with Mickey and the Beanstalk as part of Fun and Fancy Free. And let me tell you, that was one of my favorites. One of my favorite segments of that. Yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let's see. Now, if you're reading this, remember, this was made in 2017. And you can tell which bits are alright and which bits are certainly out of date. So, let's begin. It was also, one more thing, fellas, it was also mostly a Skylanders parody that features a guest star from a back then recent Disney television show, hit show, Star versus the Forces of Evil. And I was really into Star Versus at the time, and I still kind of am looking back on it, and I couldn't stop doing I couldn't stop drawing everything that was Star Butterfly related. I just wanted to do more and more. And whenever I have ever since that picture I drew of Star Butterfly hugging Trigger Happy, I just knew I had to do more. Anyways, let's see. So Trigger Happy's on the computer and he's like, I wonder if there is any more news on Disney's Gigantic. Then the television reveals Disney Gigantic canceled. The project's shelved? That night, I was so looking forward to it, just like Goofy in Disney Infinity. I can't sleep. Should I end it all? I think I've told this joke many times. You may have seen this in this type of joke being told in Dragonstein and the Reviled with a Kiss animation. Or should I pretend the project was never announced? Oh, who am I kidding? Zootopia's Easter eggs have a dead giveaway. Yeah, for those who don't know, in Zootopia, there's a little Easter egg in that movie where Duke Weaselton, that's what I meant. He showcases the Zootopia's take on other films like Big Pig Hero 6, Wreck-It Rhino, and Wrangled. And then he showcases some other DVDs that haven't been released at the time, like Floatsin 2 and Meowana and Giraffic. And looking at Giraffic, it's pretty obvious that he's got the only copy in existence. Anyways, he finally gets to sleep. He's like, zzz. The next day, the feeling has not left. You see his eyes and stuff, the toasty thing. You see, and suddenly a special guest arrives. What the? Squeeze! As Star Butterfly says. Now, keep in mind, I didn't give Star Butterfly any dialogue. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of adorable that she's silent. Sorry if I sounded a little sexist. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I should have written some dialogue, but I don't know who to get to voice Star Butterfly. Does anyone else in the audience think they can do a good Eden Shear impression? Anyways, Star, of course, seeing Trigger happy like a cuddly teddy bear as always, she's like, Star, why is she here? And and Spiral's like eating a carrot. He's like, well, Doc, with a pair of teleportation scissors, she can go anywhere. Like I said, this came out. This was written before Cleaved. Although some people don't want to pretend Cleave never existed, so Spark can still have that magic. Well, now is not the time for hugs. I'm suffering a dilemma of the fact that Disney's Gigantic is cancelled. Gigantic? You mean the second Disney canon adaptation of Jack and the Beanstalk? Shelved? What for? My guess is live-action addiction. To this very day, they still want to make live-action remakes of classic animation films. They got another one coming, and it's a more... They're doing Lilo and Stitch, and I heard they're doing Moana. Why not just make your own version of the tale? Not a bad idea. So then they start doing production. They got the props and the settings. They say, keep it up, man. All we need now is our stars. Who are we hiring? Says Spyro. Ninjiri, of course. Our caster is fetching her. Eruptos the caster's like, Trig, I got bad news. Ninjiri refuses to audition. What about the Golden Queen? On vacation. Barbella? Threatened me to not be a part of it. Guess it? You don't want to know. Basically, every female Skylander refuses to do so. You could argue they're going on strike. It's like, it's the ladies. They're on strike. They refuse to collaborate for someone who treats them poorly. Something like that. I mean, like I said, I had this written in 2017. This was years before that lawsuit happened with Skylanders, with the Activision Blizzard lawsuit, and hence why they need to rehabilitate themselves, and with Microsoft buying them and stuff. Any other girl Skylanders? No. Nope. Looks like I got only one other option. Star, you're it. You're a star. You're in the movie. The main star. A movie star you are. Let me. I should have rephrased that. I should have said, you're a star. You gotta be in my movies. And there's the bit where I have Eruptor running towards Trigger Happy and then hiring Star at the last minute. That was a reference. I have it based on when in the Sword in the Stone scene when this woman runs to Sir Hector and said that Hobbs, who was supposed to be Kay's squire, has come down with the mumps. And for the last minute, Hector's like, then Kay would need another squire hanging on. What? You're it. I'm what, sir? Kay Squire. You're going to London, boy. Oh, so Hector, wow. Something like that. That was the original sequence it was supposed to be like. I was also going to reuse some. I was also going to trace over the woman doing that thing. I mean, it was like I said, I like to poke fun of the fact that Disney likes to reuse animations. I have done so many times with Robin Hood and the Jungle Book. Anyways, You get to... Anyways, where was I? You get to be in the giant girl. You get to hug me in the movie. And then Star really is excited, and she starts hugging. Hey, looks like I'm gonna play the main role. And then Sparrow's like, wait, so who's the director of this movie then? Here you go. And gives Spyro the director's hat. Well, we need to supersize you. By the way, rest in peace, the director of Super Size Me. It was also referenced in Skylanders in one of Pop Fizz's moves. Oversize Me. Good thing we saved this kernel-sized popcorn from our trip to the Monster Isles. Remember that giant popcorn from Skylanders Superchargers? When the Skylanders took a nibble of it, they grew to the size of Titans. Heck, you can make the Giants Titans as well. Even in Genie. It's like Alice in Wonderland. One nibble and you're 50 foot. So Star takes a nibble of a piece of that popcorn, and then she munches it, and now she's 50 foot. He's like, now we're ready. Let's begin production. Positions, everyone. Okay, we're ready to film. Take one, says Pop Fizz. Scene 1. And action. Have my minds been deceived by this illusion, or this be the real deal? He looks up into the sky, and he sees a beanstalk. A beanstalk grown from the seeds my mother tossed out after getting enraged, and I traded the cow for them instead of wealth. And Sparrow's like, Did he write more than one draft of this? He looks at the script. It says Stargantic. That's the title they were going for. I wonder if this leads to a place hath I... Suddenly a leaf snaps. Whoops! And Trig falls flat. He's like, Cut the scene! Okay, cut. Is there something wrong? I slipped. Can we do the climbing scene again? Okay, people back to your positions. Jeffrack's holding a very old film camera. Take 2. And action. And Trigger Happy continues climbing. I wonder if this will lead me to a place of unknown. Then he goes up to the clouds. Well, there is something one's eyes haven't witnessed daily. And Jeffrack, who's filming this, he's the cameraman, is like, very interesting choice of words, I must say. Suddenly, there's a table up there. A part of this was also taking notes from the Mr. Greedy story from Mr. Men, as well as Mickey and the Beanstalk. It's like, Egad, such large steps. No, not as long as the ones in China. The steps. You know, the giant steps. Has anyone walked? I have walked on large steps before. I mean, there's one of the Batik caves. They got very long steps, and I also remember going to some waterfalls in Taiping where my grandparents used to live. We used to walk up several different steps. Well, if there's a large gateway, there's bound to be a little crack for me to squeeze in. See, what's that? And there's that big table, and he's like, what's that delicious smell? I bet it's coming from up there. And then Eruptor's like, maybe the dialogue is a bit much, don't you think? Then they start climbing up, and hard to climb, but at least physical activity is a requirement. Sweet heavens above, literally. A feast fit for the gods. And there's bangers and mash, strawberries and cream, a giant turkey, and some cheese. And then Trigger Happy's like, I said a feast fit for the gods. Spyro, cut the film for a minute. Cut? What's the issue? It's Star's cue. When I said a feast for the gods, that's when she barges in and sees me. Chopper, remind our co-star to get into position. So Chopper goes up to Star, and he's like, Star, it's your cue. And Apophis is like, take 3, and action.
A feast fit for the gods.
Thum, thum, thum. And Trigger Happy looks up at gigantic star butterfly.
He said, "It appears I've committed a crime of intrusion."
Then Star grabs Trigger Happy, yoinks, and starts hugging her.
Cut!
And then Spiral doesn't ask. He's like, well, I can see the problem. Star's supposed to put him in the jar and carry him to the room and then do the hugging. And then Trigger Happy's like,
something tells me we're gonna be making a really long movie.
And then the time has passed. Several months and maybe years of filming, editing, special effects, and remembering who to put in the credits later.
Finally, it's done.
As the film reel. He's like, Trig, you look like you haven't slept in days.
Funny, I never felt tired making the film.
What about Star? She's been a giant for a long time.
Weird, I thought popcorn would last a few days. Well, better find an antidote.
Star's still gigantic as stuff. Premiere night at Triggantic, there's a cinema and Trigger Happy's still waiting. He's like,
why is nobody wanting to see this movie?
We either didn't pay enough for advertising, or they're all going to see the new Ravengers 5 movie. It's supposed to be the Avengers movie, and at the time they only released 2 films. They had the 3rd film coming later and the 4th film later, and I heard they're making a 5th one. And that might be the finale for the multiverse era of Avengers. Maybe in 2026 or 2028, who knows? And the Raven goes cha-ching. It's like him. Now the reason why I call it Raven Jars is because
he makes lots by just filming jars of raven feathers?
Wait, a limo is coming. Yes, basically his films are raven jars. It's basically a jar of mayonnaise for 10 minutes. You know, jar of mayonnaise from that Wacky Deli episode? Now try stretching that for 90 minutes or 2.5 hours. You basically got raven jars. And there's the limo. And these characters I created, they're all based on animation. Some critics that some are still relevant to this day, while a few others not so much. And I'll let you take a guess. Who are they based on? The Nostalgia Sniffer, Hysterical Mr. Henry, Fly Guy Bzzz, and Movie Mac. Who are those guys, says Spyro?
Uh-oh, the internet critics. The Nostalgia Sniffer can smell a bad movie from 100 miles away. Hysterical Mr. Henry gets hysterical when he sees a bad movie. Fly Guy Bzzz is able to see into bad movies without paying. Movie Mac gives a bad movie the seal of rubbish. And there's also a critic named Felix from I'm Late for Everything, but I guess he's late for this one too.
So the critics start seating, and then Trigger Happy and Spyro, they're like,
well, here goes nothing.
Shh, it's starting. 3, 2, 1. Trigger Happy's production presents Triggantic. And here's a sign of a storm giant.
I will make bad weather for everyone. Not so fast, Storm Giant.
I forgot to give it to. I got the dialogue thingy wrong, so it's supposed to be here. Here you go.
Not so fast, Storm Giants. You aren't gonna ruin our summer with your rapid change of weather.
For those who don't know, Gigantic was supposed to have a boy like Jack and a giant girl named Irma, and the villains are the Storm Giants, who are bigger than the giants Irma are.
And how can a puny being like you try and defeat me? Just watch.
And brings out the gun. 90 minutes later,
yes, you can hug me.
and then Higgs and him. And then after the hug, Trigger says,
Should have got insurance just in case my bones crack.
the end. And what did the critics think of it? Let me see if I can try to do an impression on them so you can have a better idea what they're based on. I'm the nostalgia sniffer. I sniff it out so you don't have to. But I wish my nose were clogged during this movie. And, well, time to add this to my movie monstrosity list. Yes. Should I call it the scummy movie, or pretend I'll put it in the bottom of the roastery? And yep, it's worse than the rainy with a hint of lemon movies. It gets the Movie Max seal of rubbish. And this is the last page. It's like, oh dear, with these critics, I'm worried about the box office.
Yeah, 4 measly critics isn't enough for this to bomb.
Wait, is that? Oh wait, no wait. I mean,
yeah, 4 measly critics isn't enough for this to fail.
1 month later,
Well, this is a major bummer.
it says box office only $3. Sorry your film didn't do financially, but good news is that we at least kept our box office. The Raven Jars lost all of it. And the studio the Raven Jars was made has closed down. Ours is still remaining. Sure, we had to sell a lot of our props to keep the studio running. I got my credit card as well. But I got my credit card as well. Do you and Star want to star in our next in the next movie?
We're in!
The end. Now, I was going to add in an extra ending where the Louds would come in. I mean, after I finished this in 2017, but then in 2018, when I started to binge watch The Loud House, I was like, oh, I should have included The Loud House and have a sequence where Trigger Happy asks the Louds to fight each other, mostly Lori versus Lenny, brawling each other in a battle of a little bit Attack of the 50-Foot Woman in a way, and they just keep rolling it out, and Trigger Happy was busy filming it all, enjoying every moment of it. Well, once again, a lot of this is scrapped, and I feel like I don't think I can make this at the same day, because like I said, a lot of this is feels very pre-2020, and like I said, a lot of stuff is not very relevant to this very day. I actually did manage to do an animation with the Stargantic thing, and originally I had it completely unlisted because I was actually asked to make the film, and this person promised to pay me, but then that turns out that person just lied to me, and I made that film made the animation for nothing. It's a shorter one. It was only 30 seconds long, but I did not have a lot of fun doing it. I had to block that guy, and I put that video unlisted. The only thing I really liked when doing that one was drawing a picture of Star looking like the Green Giant. And she delivers corn all over Marco, but that's about it, really. Now, because my computer's out and I don't have any animations, new animations, I'm gonna have that. I decided to make one of the ones that I did manage to have that are unlisted be public again. To be public, let's say. So that's all I've got. That's all I have to say for Triggantic. Like I said, I should have made this a lot earlier, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff in it. Do you think I should still continue with it, or do some editing to make it more 2020s or something? Do you think I probably should do another story that's based on this, but retool it or something? Should I choose another guest character instead of Star Butterfly, like anyone else? Lori Loud, Luz Noceda, or anybody else? Or do you want me to come up with a brand new giant character, or anything like that? Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. I hope you've enjoyed this video.